Love lives here.
Was it just last weekend? Oh my gosh, it was just last weekend. Yeah, last weekend I got back from Mexico. I got back from the Convention of the Americas in Mexico, and the week before that, Eddie and I were on vacation, and he had a great time. It was his first time to Mexico, and after he left, I was tired. So I slept for 3 days until the convention started. So it was a really great time being at the Convention of the Americas, and our very own James Woods also came down and was part of the convention this year. So that was very exciting to see him in that space and see our brother James just kind of like work the room. It was kind of cool. So if you have never seen James Woods in action, it is a sight to see. So yeah, he is an amazing individual, and I'm so glad that he is part of this. I'm so glad that he went. So we had breakfast the first day. We had lunch the first day and chatted, and then I didn't see him for 4 more days. It was just like, I would look up, and he's like over there and chat, and it was great. So, yeah. So I had the profound honor once again to present a workshop at the Convention of the Americas, as well as be the keynote speaker there. And the Convention of the Americas is held on the beautiful shores of Lake Chapala, Mexico. It is about 45 minutes south of Guadalajara. And it is on the shores of Lake Chapala, which is really rich with indigenous wisdom that speaks to the very heart of what we're talking about today. So picture this. There were about 100 people from across North America, Central America, and South America gathering in this one sacred space. Different languages, different cultures, different stories, and yet we came together in something that was really sacred and really holy. And during this time, which it was Elevando Juntos, rising together, it was rising together. We came together to rise together, and we discovered that our obstacles aren't something really to overcome. They were gifts to celebrate with one another. They were the very expression of the infinite mind itself. So today we're talking about celebrating differences. And when I say celebrating differences, I mean we're not just tolerating them, we're not just managing them, but we're generally celebrating them as expressions of the divine. Ernest Holmes reminds us that there is how many lives? One life, right? One life, one mind, one spirit, and that life, that mind, that spirit is expressing itself infinitely through the infinite diversity that it has created. Correct? Yes? Okay. Good. No, I did the call and response down there too, and it was kind of like, I looked at James, I'm like, I feel like I'm back in Riverside. They're ignoring me. They're not answering me. So they caught on. I'm glad that you said yes. Okay. Whew. All right. So the same intelligence, the same creative intelligence that paints every sunset differently, right? That creates no two snowflakes alike. Oh, I could go there, but I'm not. That ensures every fingerprint is unique. That same intelligence is expressing itself through each and every person in this room, through each and every person joining us online. Hi, my beloveds online. Good to see you. Your uniqueness, my beloveds, is not an accident. It's not, oopsie-daisy, right? It's not something that you need to apologize for or something you need to hide. In fact, it's the signature of the divine expressing itself in, through, and as you. So in my workshop, what was called Circles of Inclusion, we formed a large circle in the room, and I called out different experiences. So step in if you speak more than one language. Step in if you've ever felt like an outsider in your own family. Step in if you've ever had to hide a part of yourself or a part of your identity to be or feel accepted. And it was really beautiful to witness this stepping in and then stepping back, because what it created is it created a heartbeat in the community. And it was really beautiful to witness this community of diverse people, diverse languages, diverse cultures, all coming together and seeing commonality, seeing themselves and one another, seeing their differences, but yet also witnessing how we come together. And so what moved me most wasn't just the stepping in and stepping out. It was watching faces light up when they saw themselves represented in others, when they recognized themselves, when they saw the recognition that they weren't alone. When someone stepped into the center, they weren't just claiming their own experience. They were revealing a facet of the divine that could only be expressed in their unique way. And it was totally just this incredible thing. One woman from El Salvador stepped in when I said, "Step in if you've ever felt torn between honoring your heritage and fitting into a new culture." And as she looked around the circle, she saw others from Mexico, from Canada, and from the United States, all having stepped in, all nodding with understanding. You see, her difference, what she thought was a burden, wasn't actually a burden. It was a gift to the whole. I had one gentleman say he learned more about people, because he's been coming to the conference for 6 years now. He learned more about people in that 1 hour than he has in the entire 6 times he's been coming to the conference, the 6 weeks he's been attending, the conference. And he experienced the opportunity to be vulnerable and to be safe and to be seen for the first time. Not having to put on airs, not having to put on personas, but to actually be seen for all of who he is. Sabina Selassie, in her beautiful book, You Belong, offers us a radical reframe about belonging and about differences. She says, differences aren't problems to be solved, they're gifts to be celebrated. Each person brings a perspective, a wisdom, and a way of seeing that enriches the whole. So think of it this way. If we're all exactly the same, what would we learn from each other? Nothing, right? If we all had the same experiences, the same viewpoints, the same ways of processing life, how great would our understanding be? Boring. I mean, I love myself, but I eventually get tired of myself too, right? Is that just me? No, you get tired of yourself too, or you get tired of me? Both. It's so good to have Dinah back in the room, keeping everybody humble, especially me. So, your background, your culture, your struggles, right? And your celebrations, your way of moving through the world. These aren't just personal characteristics. They are the infinite mind exploring itself through infinite expressions. At the convention, I watched this play out and unfold in real time. In the translator booths, Lorenza and Michelle didn't just translate words. They translated love, ensuring that every voice could be heard in every language. That act of translation itself was a holy and sacred work, honoring the divine that speaks Spanish, honoring the divine that speaks English, honoring the divine that speaks indigenous languages and modern languages. But you know me, I'm not going to keep you comfortable. Why would I do that? Where's the growth, right? So here's where it gets uncomfortable. You ready? Strap in. You know that growth happens in discomfort, yes? Yes. Well, there's a few of you. Yes. All right. Sí, gracias. Perfecto. Okay? So, our differences, my beloved, serves as mirrors, reflecting back our unconscious biases and assumptions. When I called out in that circle, when I called out, step in if someone has made assumptions about you based on where you're from, more than half the circle stepped in. Young men from Guadalajara, women from Washington, D.C., the minister from Seattle, the businessman from Tijuana. In that moment, we had to face a difficult truth. We all carry assumptions. We all have unconscious biases. We all make judgments based on appearance, accent, background, or culture, and many other things. But here's a spiritual opportunity. Every assumption is an invitation to go deeper. Every bias is a chance to expand our own understanding. Every stereotype is a doorway to greater compassion. We know that our thoughts create reality, yes? But what we often miss is that our assumptions about others co-create their reality too. At least in our experience of them. When we see someone through the lens of a stereotype, we limit not just our understanding of them, but we limit our ability to receive the gifts that they bring. We understand that the creative principle in the universe is always seeking greater expression, greater expansion, greater beauty. I mean, look at nature, right? The incredible diversity of flowers, of birds, of landscape. The creative principle doesn't create in monotone. It creates in symphony. The same is true of humanity. Every culture brings unique wisdom. Every background offers different insights. Every individual expresses the divine in ways that only they can and no one else. In my keynote, I referred back to the prophecy of the eagle and the condor, the masculine and the feminine, the mind and the heart, the north and the south, finally flying together in the same sky. And this prophecy isn't just poetry. It's recognition that wholeness requires all parts. The analytical precision, often valued in the north, needs the heart-centered wisdom cherished in the south. The individual empowerment emphasized in some cultures needs the community connections honored in others. The outward-focused achievement celebrated in some traditions needs the inward spiritual practice treasured in others. My beloveds, we're not here to be uniform. How boring. We're meant to be unified. Diverse expressions of the one, each bringing our unique note to this cosmic symphony. Could be comical too. But we're called to be united. We're called to unite, to come together, to rise together. And so at the convention, I did speak to rising together. I emphasized that we don't rise by becoming the same. We rise by becoming interconnected, much the way I talked about the redwood trees with you last time I was with you all. That each tree is unique, and what helps it stand strong is that its roots are intertwined underground, giving it the strength of the whole forest. Your differences from your neighbor, your colleague, your family member, those aren't obstacles to spiritual community. They're the very foundation. When we truly celebrate our differences, we call what Selassie calls belonging, is what we create. Not by fitting in, but being exactly as we are while contributing something larger to the whole, something larger than ourselves. I think of the moment in the workshop when I said, step in if you believe we are all expressions of the one. Guess what? Everybody stepped in. People from several countries, cultures, backgrounds, infinite differences, all recognizing the fundamental unity. And that's the paradox of celebrating differences, my friends. The more we honor our own uniqueness, the more we recognize our oneness. The more we celebrate what makes us distinct, the more we discover what connects us. But let me be clear. Celebrating differences isn't just a feel-good spiritual exercise. Yay, we celebrate differences here. Yay, all are included. Yay, yay, yay. It's not just that. It's prophetic work. It's justice work. It's healing work. When we celebrate our differences, we disrupt systems that privilege voices over others. We challenge structures that say there's only one right way to be spiritual, one right way to be human, one right way to express the divine. True celebration of differences means making room, not just at the table, but in designing what the table looks like and who gets to build that table. It means lifting our voices that have been marginalized. It means recognizing that diversity isn't just nice to have, it's necessary for our collective evolution. Your unique expression of the divine matters. The world needs what you bring. Your perspective, shaped by your experiences, your background, your journey, this isn't just personal. It's part of the cosmic unfolding of consciousness itself. So stop apologizing for who you are. Stop trying to fit into the boxes that don't honor your fullness. Stop hiding the parts of yourself that seem different from others. The divine is seeking to know itself through your unique expression. When you dim your light to make others comfortable, you deprive the universe of a gift that only you can give. So now I want to break to tables. So you can go ahead and move to tables there. If you're not already at a table, join tables there. And we're going to have a conversation around these 3 questions. You can choose which questions to answer. You can answer all 3, but it's a conversation here. And so the questions that are provided on the screen, and they're also on your tables on little blue slips of paper. There's 6 people to a table. There should be plenty of space there for everybody. So the questions here are, what early messages did you learn about people who were different when you were young? And how do those still show up in you? When has someone's difference helped you grow or see things in a new way? And how has diversity in your life, whether cultural, generational, or experiential, expanded your understanding of the divine? So, homework. Each day, choose one person whose difference from you you feel is challenging or uncomfortable. Okay? Maybe it's their communication style, their cultural background, their political views, Cindy, or ways of approaching life. Well, we know that Cindy always goes there. I watch them on TV and I just can't, right? So each day, choose one person whose difference from you feels challenging or uncomfortable, okay? And then instead of avoiding or judging, spend 2 minutes doing the following. 1, pause and breathe. 2, ask yourself silently, how is the divine expressing itself through this person that I need to see? How is the divine expressing itself through this person that I need to see? 3, look for one specific gift that they bring because of their difference. Maybe it's their directness, teaching boundaries, their cultural perspective offers wisdom, or their different pace brings a grounding. Yes, look for one specific gift they bring because of their difference. One specific gift that they bring because of their difference. And then 4, offer genuine appreciation for that gift, whether directly to them or silently in your heart. So you're going to pause and breathe. You're going to ask how the divine is expressing itself through this person in a way that you need to see it today. You're going to look for one specific gift that they bring because of their difference, and then you're going to offer genuine appreciation for that gift. Then level it up by keeping a simple note in your phone or journal at the end of the day. And you can say, today I celebrated this person's name, their gift of what have you. So today I celebrated JD's gift of eyeliner. There you go, right? So today I celebrated whoever's gift of, and then fill in the blank. So by the week's end, you're going to have 7 entries and 7 ways that you've experienced the divine and that you've witnessed the divine expressing itself through these differences that initially challenged you, right? And so this isn't about agreeing with everyone or bypassing the real issues. It's really about training your spiritual eye to see the sacred in what first appears to be foreign to you. Because when we practice seeing the differences as divine expressions rather than problems to solve, we become living examples of the inclusion that our world so desperately needs right now. So the goal isn't to eliminate discomfort. It's to let that discomfort become curiosity, and curiosity become celebration. And remember the truth that we discovered in that circle in Chapala. We are not separate beings trying to connect. We are individualized expressions of the one life, the one love, the one spirit, temporarily expressing ourselves as individualized. Your differences are not obstacles to love. They are love's infinite expression. Your differences are not obstacles to love. They are love's infinite expressions. So when we celebrate each other's uniqueness, something holy happens. We become living temples of diversity, walking demonstrations that the divine is too vast, too creative, too magnificent to be contained in any one single form. And the world needs your unique note in this cosmic symphony. So don't hold back, don't dim your light. Let your differences be your gift to the whole. And in celebrating our differences, we celebrate the very creativity of the divine. In honoring each other's uniqueness, we honor the infinite expressions of the one. So let's rise together, not by being the same, but by celebrating the magnificent diversity through which the divine knows itself. And so it is.
So it is. Beautiful. Thank you, Rev Jeff.
And let's come together in consciousness, shall we? All right, so recognizing right here and right now that there is one power, one presence, one life, one infinite, eternal isness that is ising all the time. That it is just this one bringing forth from itself, through itself, as itself, all of creation. It is complete and total wholeness. It is absolute perfection. It is love. It is joy. It is peace. It is the all in all, through all, as all. For it truly is all that there is. And so I recognize this oneness here and now, this wholeness, recognizing that the who of who I am is oneness made manifest, that I am a divine emanation and impartation of this one life, this one love, this one power, this one presence. I am the place where God shows up here, right here, right now, always and in all ways. And as I know that this is true of me, I know that this is true of everyone gathered here this day, and I know that this is true of all of life, everywhere. That each one is this one life in glorious individualized expression of itself, making itself known through its complexity, making itself known through its diversity. And yet, recognizing this diversity, recognizing it is all part of, it is all an integral piece of, and necessary piece of the one. There is no other, there is no separation, there is nothing else out there for anything to be other than this one life, other than this one love. So as we go through our week this week, we recognize this oneness in every person, every living being. We recognize it in the buildings, in the trees, in the birds and the squirrels, and yes, even the darn cockroaches and mosquitoes. For that too, they too are life. Though we might not understand their purpose, we might not appreciate them, we can learn to love and see through new eyes, see the way Spirit sees with the eyes of Spirit, hearing with the ears of Spirit, and loving with the heart of Spirit. So even in the smallest mosquito, we recognize the divinity. We recognize our oneness with it. And we celebrate it. And so in this knowing, I do give thanks for the perfection and the wholeness that is Spirit, that is God, that is love. I give thanks for its expression in, through, and as each one of us, through our community, and through the community at large. Our human family, our four-legged family, all of it. And for this I do give thanks. I release this word now, knowing it is done, knowing it is so. I let it be, and together we say, and so it is. And so if you would all stand and let's share this affirmation together. I celebrate difference as a sacred reflection of infinite mind. Here we go. I celebrate difference as a sacred reflection of the infinite mind. Something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is this thing called love. Love is in my mind. Love is in my body. Love is in everything I do. I am it. I share it. I receive it. And I move love forward because love lives here. Happy